collectors and Masters of the Universe fans. It's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, thanks to those of you that just hit that thumbs up button, as well as all of my Optibotimus Plus channel members, specifically FC, we are going to be taking a look at the new Masters of the Universe Origins realistic fur PANTHOR. Exclusively available, at least I believe here in North America at Walmart stores. This is the version of PANTHOR that collectors wanted. And it's all because of the realistic fur, which basically means that much like that original vintage figure, this Origins representation of PANTHOR is flocked, which in my opinion, as well as a lot of collectors' opinions, should always have been the case. In addition to the obviously different coloring, it helped to further differentiate him from Battlecat. Let's just be honest, it was cool. And when they actually announced that we were going to be getting a flocked version of PANTHOR, it made a lot of us extremely happy. Until we found out that it was going to be a Walmart exclusive. But one thing that they also mentioned was that the packaging was going to be a little bit different. Now, obviously, you can see that one of the biggest differences, it's got the realistic fur burst right there. But it also shows right down here that this is a collector's edition. Going even further, they actually did say that the packaging was also going to be flocked. Now, I just so happen to, not a PANTHOR, but I do have an extra battle cap. And while you can see that basically they kind of look the same, one thing that I will say is that this kind of has a very rough, just cardboard feel. This one feels velvety. Oh my, I mean, I don't know how you define it as being flocked. I mean, obviously the figure has the little fur elements on there. I don't know how you could do that with a box, but you can kind of also see that it's, I don't know how well that's going to come across, but it has this texture to it, which is silky smooth. I mean, here, I don't know if that actually works. So you can, that's just using my fingernail. When I come to this and do that, I mean, I don't know. It definitely feels different, and you'll notice it right away when you get your hands on it. It's really cool and kind of weird that I'm sitting here like rubbing a box, but that's actually really quite nice. See all the fierce warnings and things like that. You got PANTHOR, great artwork on here. I want to say that the artwork is the same, although I thought maybe the original on the front had Skeletor in the battle armor, or maybe I'm thinking of the land shark. I don't remember, but you can see you got that there. When you come around to the back, though, you can see that he is wearing the battle armor, and he's fighting He-Man again, and you got that same kind of flocking feel on it, and you can kind of feel, you can almost kind of see also that little shine on there. I don't know, I mean, no, that even kind of has a little bit of a gloss on there, so I don't know, like, this just feels different. It's so weird. I don't know how to describe it. I think it's amazing. I absolutely love it. But the back here, all is basically the same. You got the new for 2021 figures with battle armor, He-Man, Skeletor, Merman, She-Ra, Robot, all of those. Great art. I mean, I absolutely love it. I almost don't want to open this because of how kind of cool it is. But I've never had a PANTHOR in my collection, much like Battlecat, so this was one I was really super excited about getting. So, without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. And here we have the realistic fur or flocked version of PANTHOR opened up and out of his packaging. And this is exactly how this figure should have always have been released. It is an absolute shame, in my opinion, that this is a Walmart exclusive. While sure, it's nice that they were able to still issue a PANTHOR, even though it wasn't flocked, so that it's easier to acquire, a flocked version was always the way that it should have been done. And when you bring in the whole store exclusive, that just, it sucks. I mean, I get why companies do it, and what really makes it suck are scalpers. Without a doubt, they ruin that whole exclusive element. Whether it be the Masters of the Universe Origins line, or NECA, even Transformers. Those people that get there early in the morning and buy all of the figures so that they can resell them for $2 3 times the price really do grind my gears. Which is why I have to give an absolute huge shout out again to my Optibotimus Plus channel member FC, who was able to find this at his local Walmart and get it for me. Because the 2 Walmarts in my area have been bare bones since about November. Which also brings in sharp focus how crappy exclusives can be. Because I still haven't even seen those Headmaster reissues. You know, the Titan Return figures that were repacked to look like the G1 Headmaster reissue. Yeah, they haven't shown up in my place. Neither have the Red figures. None of the new Netflix ones. Just nothing. Literally, it's like only Kong stuff. Or some like Yu-Gi-Oh looking thing. I don't know. But PANTHOR here is absolutely gorgeous. The flocking is really very, very well done. As you feel it, I mean, there is a very nice velvety feel to it, which is outstanding. I would imagine that the body is still purple like the original one. It's just coated in this flock, which there's no... Oh, you can kind of see it. It has such a nice velvety feel all the way around. And look at that head sculpt. That is fantastic. The eyes look great on him as well. Like, rawr. And that's amazing. It is, for the most part, the exact same figure, so I might as well bring in that original one. Here he is. You know, and it's not that this is a bad figure. By any stretch of the imagination. You can see that the harness is the exact same. Color does get a little bit different. As you can see, he's almost a little bit lighter of a color. I do like the much deeper purple on him. But one thing that you do lose, but even really not all that much, is the sculpted in detail. You can see like the side there, you can still see it pretty decently there, but you do lose some of that sculpted in detail. Like you can even see it like here with the arms. Again, you see like the musculature, a little bit of that sculpted detail, but not nearly as much as you get there. So both are still really very, very nice, and I think are excellent additions to any collection, to be totally honest with you. Just, it's a matter of which aesthetic you like. And like I said, that vintage one, by adding the flock into it, really helped to differentiate him from just that original vintage Battle Cat figure, which was the exact same figure, but with a purple color, a green harness, and then the helmet. That's the only difference. But by adding the flocking on there, really did to help make him stand out. I mean, it just is really fantastic. Now, much like you could with that other one, you can remove the harness as well. Now, one thing about flock is that in some areas you can kind of see it does sort of get indented. A lot of it is because of things rubbing on it, but if you play with it a little bit, it'll pop it out. One thing that I've also kind of noticed is if you like wet your finger a little bit and rub it, you can see it kind of helps to blend it out a little bit more. So, like, let's look back here. Yeah, see, you can kind of see it helps to get some of those marks out a little bit easier. But you can see that it does kind of rub on him. And, I mean, literally there's nothing that you can do about it. But it's going to be underneath this, so it's not that big of a deal. But you can see those little rib lines and everything, that's all still there. And all the articulation is the exact same on him. Now, the original vintage one didn't have any articulation, so a lot of people were wondering, how are they going to do articulation with this with actual flocking? Because originally in the Classics line, one of the reasons why they didn't flock that Classics version of PANTHOR was because they said all the articulation. Now, granted, that had a lot more articulation in it, but what you can see that they did was they have like this gap, which was on the original one as well. And you can see that it moves without doing any rubbing. Now, you might get a little extra rubbing. I mean, it's not even all that bad. I mean, you can see like a slight separation line around there. But you can still move this guy around. You can see like the gap right around there. This rotates. Well, that's really stiff. But that rotates still. I would imagine that you may get some rubbing on there. I don't even think you do, honestly. And then to facilitate other parts like here with the elbows, you can see that they just didn't apply the flock to the actual joint itself. So that does stand out, but I don't think it really looks bad at all. You got that in the back section as well, and then you can see that on the tail. Now, the tail here kind of feels like there could be some rubbing with that, but again, I'm not going to play with him, so it doesn't really seem like it's going to get damaged or anything. But all the articulation is still there. The complaint, I heard Pixel Dan talk about this, and I still kind of agree with him, is that why put all that articulation in his legs, but you don't articulate his paws? That, I feel, is a missed opportunity on their part, so it does kind of suck. And then you just put this right back on there and slide this down and around and kind of pull that about as tight as you want it. And that's gonna be a pain in the butt to get. You watch. But there we go. So you have that. But like I said, all that stuff underneath there is kind of hidden, so you don't even really see it. And just because, let's bring out old Skullface here. The Skeletor. Let's get him standing on this guy. Or riding him. There we go. I mean, that just looks absolutely terrific. I mean, doesn't it? I mean, if you're a Masters of the Universe fan, it's great to have this kind of stuff nowadays. I mean, it literally, that's one thing I absolutely love about the Origins line. It literally is taking our vintage figures that we played with as a kid, in some cases being able to get them for the first time. Like, I've never had this, so it's great to finally have something like this, and it does a great job of reminding me how that original toy was, and also modernizing it to put the articulation in there, which is what us as collectors now like. We like all that articulation. Granted, you can't really do too much in terms of posing, but this just looks gorgeous. Oh, you can open his mouth and rawr. But this is absolutely the version of PANTHOR that I wanted. It is what it is when it comes to the whole store exclusive stuff. I went into that probably longer than I should have, but it is what it is, unfortunately. But all that being said, if this version of PANTHOR is one that you would like to add to your collection, he is hitting various Walmart stores right now. So if you are looking for him, good luck and happy hunting. If you can't find him and all you can settle for is this guy, it's still a great figure. Both of them still look really good. You know, and somebody that knows Masters of the Universe isn't going to confuse that PANTHOR with any other character. They're going to instantly recognize him as PANTHOR, but the flocking just takes it to a whole new level. And I really think that Mattel did an outstanding job with this. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you would show your support by simply doing that one very small thing that I ask all the time, and that's just hitting that thumbs up button. Believe it or not, that one very small gesture really does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really very much appreciate it. I also gotta send a huge shout out to all of my Optibotimus Plus channel members. Again, specifically FC, who through his support, as well as all the other channel members, helped to make reviews like this possible. And if you'd like information on how you can help support my channel by becoming a channel member, where you can get exclusive channel chat and comment emojis, loyalty badges, exclusive unboxing videos, live streams, Zoom calls, occasional giveaways, as well as the exclusive location of my Optibotimus Looks Back series, then please consider becoming a member of Optibotimus Plus. And for that, all you have to do is click on that little join button right down there. And finally, remember that the real trouble with the world is that too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.